Great individuals throughout history like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, the Wright brothers, and Joan of Arc possessed a powerful vision. Although they couldn't perceive it through their senses, it was vivid in their minds. They embraced this vision so strongly that they started living as if their desired future was already happening in the present. This raises an intriguing question. Can you have unwavering belief in a future that is yet to be seen or experienced, but you've contemplated it so deeply that your brain undergoes a transformation, making it seem as though the event has already occurred? Recent advancements in neuroscience suggest that you can shift your brain's focus from the past to the future. Moreover, can you become so enamored with this vision that it motivates you to overcome feelings of guilt or suffering, replacing them with inspiration, joy, and gratitude, to such an extent that your body, at the subconscious level, can no longer differentiate between the external reality and the reality you're creating internally, leading your body to believe it's already living in that future moment. As a result, your body starts triggering new genes in novel ways, causing it to transform and resemble the outcome you envisioned. The latest research in epigenetics supports the idea that thoughts alone can shape and change your physical being. Let's reason this together. If there is tangible evidence in your brain and body indicating that the event has already taken place, then your brain and body are no longer dwelling in the past. They are existing in the future. Consequently, you naturally progress towards your envisioned future, manifesting the new experiences you desire. It all begins the moment you initiate thoughts about this particular experience, pondering the potential reality. This process activates a crucial region of your brain called the frontal lobe, which is the pinnacle of human achievement. Accounting for 40% of your entire brain, it serves as the creative hub and is intricately connected to all other brain regions. By asking open-ended questions like, what would it be like to be a leader? Or what would it be like to achieve success? You awaken this frontal lobe as the rest of the brain primarily operates on automatic programs. Once the frontal lobe is engaged, it starts selecting various networks of neurons stored in your brain, stemming from your past learning and experiences. When you contemplate what-if scenarios, these diverse networks intertwine seamlessly, igniting your brain to fire in new sequences, patterns, and combinations. Anytime your brain functions differently, you are essentially altering your mindset because the mind is the brain in action. It's the brain at work. As these neurons synchronize, they generate a mental picture, a hologram, a vision. For passionate individuals, this very thought they're entertaining elicits an elevated emotion. They become inspired, enthusiastic, and passionate. Their hearts open up, and this merging of a clear intention with an elevated emotion has been proven repeatedly in our research to bring about profound and biological changes within individuals. Their brain and body transition from living in the past to residing in the future. When you experience such a transformative moment, breaking free from your resting state, you instinctively start documenting all the necessary steps to reach your envisioned future. You jot down the choices you intend to make, the goals you wish to achieve, and the exhilarating emotions you anticipate. In doing so, you set your sights firmly on your destiny. But here's the brilliant part. You also make a conscious decision to avoid certain choices. You become aware of the behaviors you no longer wish to exhibit and actively review the experiences you want to steer clear of. Additionally, you analyze the emotions that tend to drag you down, consciously separating your old self from the new self that you are becoming. By observing your old self, you detach from being solely controlled by old programming. Instead, you become the conscious observer of your own programming, thereby objectifying your subjective self. It is at this juncture that you start moving toward your new self. However, be prepared for discomfort when you begin making choices different from your habitual patterns. This discomfort signifies that you're progressing towards your new self. Have you ever wondered if it's possible to change the circuits in your brain simply by thinking about it? In a fascinating experiment, a group of individuals who had never played the piano before were divided into 4 categories. Their brains were scanned before and after a 2-week period of practice for 2 hours a day. The results were astounding, revealing the profound impact of mental processes on neural connections. The first group was instructed to practice one-handed piano scales and chords for 2 hours daily. Their brains were scanned before and after the 2-week period. Remarkably, the scans after the practice period showed a whole new set of circuits lighting up in their brains. Learning something new creates fresh connections, and by repeating and practicing, these connections are strengthened and consolidated into memory. The second group was told to play the piano for 2 hours daily, but without any specific instructions or guidance. Their brains were scanned before and after the practice period as well. Surprisingly, the scans showed no significant changes. This lack of progress could be attributed to the absence of a structured approach and the inability to remember what they had learned from one day to the next. The third group was instructed not to attend the practice sessions at all. Unsurprisingly, there were no observable changes in their brain scans. Without any engagement or effort, the brain remains stagnant and no new connections are formed. The final group was asked to mentally rehearse the same one-handed piano exercises for 2 hours a day. Although they did not physically play the piano, they mentally visualized and practiced the exercises repeatedly. Their brains were scanned before and after the practice period. Astonishingly, the scans revealed the same brain area lighting up as if they had been physically playing the scales. This signifies that new circuits were formed in their brains solely through the power of thought and mental rehearsal. Whenever we learn something new, our brain forms new connections. Learning is essentially the process of creating new neurological pathways. These connections are then sustained through repetition, which leads to memory formation. Repetition allows neurons to establish long-term relationships, strengthening the circuits associated with the learned activity. In the experiment, the participants who made the most progress treated their practice as a top priority. They were willing to give up social engagements and leisure activities to focus on mental rehearsal. By consistently rehearsing their ideal selves and visualizing their desired outcomes, they reinforced the circuits associated with their aspirations. Repetition became the key to building sustainable neural pathways that would shape their future selves. During the process of rehearsal, participants often experienced deep absorption and immersion. They lost track of time and space, entering a state of heightened focus. When they eventually snapped out of this state, they discovered that hours had passed, despite feeling like mere minutes. In these moments, they had transcended the normal feedback of the body and environment. This phenomenon aligns with neuroscience's understanding of entering the quantum field, where the brain undergoes repatterning and rewiring. Notably, the most active part of the brain during these immersive mental rehearsals is the prefrontal cortex. In these moments, thoughts become more real than the physical reality, demonstrating the brain's adaptability and its ability to change based on our mental focus. The experiment highlights the incredible potential of mental processes to reshape the brain circuits. By engaging in mental rehearsal, we can create new connections and reinforce existing ones. Learning, memory, and sustained practice play vital roles in this transformative process. The dedication to repetition and the ability to enter a state of deep focus can unlock the door to the quantum field, where the brain undergoes profound rewiring. Embracing the power of thought, we have the ability to shape our future selves by rewiring our brains.